it gives me pleasure to bring back to the ABH stage our 2023 ABH winner, Dr. Neto from Wella Health.
You never get used to that light right in your eyes. But this time around, there's no desk of judges. But I'm so delighted to be back here on this stage. It was just over a year ago where I broke down in tears, surprisingly. My son is here, and he said to me, "Daddy, that's you crying," when the video came up earlier on about me on stage. But it was such an emotional experience for me. And I'm here to report that over the last year, phenomenal things have happened. As a result of the funds and the support we've gotten at ABH, we've been able to grow our revenue by over 160%. Thank you. We now employ over 80 people and serve over 1 million people. That vision that I had when I bought a one-way ticket back from New Zealand to Nigeria to start a business is starting to be realized. And I'm grateful for the support that I earned here. This year, a big goal that we have is to expand beyond Nigeria into other countries in Africa. So who knows, I may be in one of your countries by the end of this year. But something stopped me in my tracks. Somebody told me a story of a young middle-aged woman that was living in a kind of semi-rural area. She would go to a clinic every few months to receive medicines. It was quite a journey, and so she'd have to walk, sometimes take a motorbike, bodas, they call them in Kenya. I don't know what they call them here. But on this occasion, only just recently, she went to the clinic, and she was told that unfortunately, she couldn't get access. What she always attended for was HIV medicine. What happened at the start of this year? The US government said, we're going to pause US aid spending. And that significantly affected HIV programs all across Africa, in Nigeria, and for this young lady. And it really bothered me that we are in a place today where we are so dependent as Africans on foreign aid to solve really, really big problems such as HIV. Because the US has given us over $100 billion, and that has helped us to contain the spread of HIV. But currently, we're at risk. We're at huge risks of HIV becoming the big danger it was about 20 years ago when we first started to spend on it. But I think that there is an opportunity as well. Because if there's anything that I personally have proven, certainly over the last year, is that AI, African innovation, can solve African problems, even in healthcare where they're challenging. Because the services that we provide are really affordable. They start at less than $1 a month, but they provide care for the common conditions that people face. So problems like malaria, coughs, colds, and flus, and even people can get cash back when they go into hospitals. These programs in the past have earned or have had billions of dollars spent on them by lots of donors. But we've been able to make a lot of progress. Like I said, we serve over 1 million people now, and we've raised less than $2 million. So you can see how much more efficient we are when we, the local Africans, use innovation and technology to make things happen. So the story of being reliant on help from outside the continent has to change, and it is changing because we've shown the way. Think about what happened with COVID. There was a scramble for vaccines, right? And we were left behind. There was a scramble for personal protective equipment, and we were left behind. But there is local capacity to do a lot of things. And so what I propose, and what we're working on, is to solve that problem, especially with HIV care, where we know that it's a huge challenge if we let that epidemic return, is that there are local places where manufacturing is happening. We've got local capacity to manufacture, certainly in Nigeria and across the continent. We need to work with local manufacturers, give them the support they need to get into the supply chains. On the supply chain side, there's a lot of innovation happening there. A fellow ABH hero, he's going to be on stage later on, Chibuzo, has done a lot of work in supply chains where a lot of innovation is able to get drugs to where they're needed, when they're needed, really affordably. And there's the technology to tie it all together, to aggregate demand, to finance patients, so that people that would have gone without can now, using that technology and innovation, get access to proper HIV care. And not for free, because we know that people can pay. Again, if there's anything that I've proven over the last couple of years, is people can pay. People want to pay. We just have to give them a way to do it. And we have the technology to actually customize what people will be able to afford. And we can target subsidies either from government or perhaps from donors, but through local channels to support those that cannot pay. The tools are there. We can actually do it. As we consider what the future will be without support from a lot of the world, if we're being honest, we need to think about the progress we've made locally, about the innovations that we've seen here that ABH have brought together. And we need to begin to believe and trust our entrepreneurs and our innovation communities and ecosystems to deliver the solutions that are locally relevant. Because I can tell you that we can deliver care for less than what is being delivered for now when donors give us the money. In Nigeria, I'll give you a specific example. We get about $1 billion every year to support a healthcare system, and less than 50% of that gets to the end user. Done locally, we can do it for a fraction of the cost, because we will not have consultants in Washington charging hundreds of dollars an hour to get things into people's hands. Thank you. And so my final call, essentially, is that AI is the answer, but not artificial intelligence. It's African innovation. It's local solutions, local entrepreneurs, local companies that can solve local challenges in a way that is far more affordable and accessible. And we can solve problems like access to HIV medicines, for example, but beyond that, so much more in healthcare, in education, in food security, and more. And so please, I implore you all, and those that have the ears of government in particular, to support our local innovators so that we can solve these problems at scale using African innovation. Thank you very much.
Dr. Neto, I haven't seen you since you won because you couldn't come with us to China. You were busy. But I want to ask you a question, and you have to tell me the truth because I'll find out. What did you use your money for?
Hey, that's secret information.
But we're all brothers and sisters here. You won't share that today, huh?
Not today.
You'll whisper it in my ear. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2023 ABH winner, Dr. Neto from Wella Health, and he's giving you a few calls to action.